just another day here in good old St. Louis. Got a transport truck in the wrong lane. Yeah, sir, I'm pretty sure that's not the right way to go. Hello everyone, it's a beautiful day out today, and what better thing to do than work on the old motorhome. Still torn apart on the inside, but today, since it's so nice outside, we're going to do a little bit of work on this water heater here. Let me show you what's going on. So we've got a few things here. First off, the cover's been missing for a long time. And because that cover is missing, I can't help but wonder if it kind of messed up some stuff here. As you can see, I've got one thermostat out. This is a 12-volt thermostat for the gas portion of the water heater. The electric, the 110 thermostat is still good, so I tested that, put it back in, it's working fine. But the element is burned out, and I've got a problem with the module that controls the gas side of the water heater here, I believe. And that's in this compartment here, so you'll be able to see. I've got it all taken apart here, but I think I'm having a problem with this thing. From what I've been reading online, is it looks like that's the cause. Got all my tools and everything in it, ready to go. A whole bunch of miscellaneous hardware that I grabbed from the greenhouses when those closed, and I've got a bunch of parts here. So here's my little module. I've also got a little replacement cover for the thermostats because these little rubber buttons were torn. Here's the thermostat for the gas side. I've got a replacement element for the electric side of the water heater. We're going to replace the element. Got a bunch of these seals to reseal all the water lines throughout the RV. Let's get to work. Let's see what we can get fixed on this water heater today before the sun sets. So the electric side of it is pretty straightforward. Just like any electric water heater, you're going to want to disconnect the element. In this case, we got two wires here, as you can see. We got our power and our ground that I've disconnected. Then you need an 1.5 inch socket, as you see right here. Got a 1/2 inch, 1.5 inch socket on my ratchet, and I've already loosened it a little bit, gave it a big tug. Yeah, it's coming right out. There you go. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think we found our problem. I think that just might be why the electric side of the water heater was not working. So we got our new one here. I'm gonna get a new seal, put the new seal on there, and then we're just gonna thread it back in. There's the new seal on. All we gotta do is just thread this back in. Hook our electrical connectors up. Now, I won't be able to tell for sure if this thing is actually working until I have water in it and can fire up the generator and then turn that on. But for now, seeing this, I'm gonna assume that it's fixed. Okay, now that we've got the new electric element in there and it fit just fine, let's move on to the thermostat for the gas portion of the heater. As I said earlier, the electric portion is okay, so we're gonna replace the gas thermostat. Over here, you can see where the gas thermostat went bad. It basically just got brittle and broke. So I've got a new one here. Here it is. Now, if you're going to do this job on your RV, make sure you remember that these are different thermostats. The electric thermostat is different than the gas thermostat. And the way that you can tell is by the prongs. The gas thermostat will have the bent prongs. The electric thermostat will have the straight prongs, as you can see there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide the thermostat on here. Here's a little nut with a lock washer that holds it in place. Start it by hand. Tighten it up the rest of the way with your socket. There's one. And there's two. There we go. It's connected. Now these little plastic things on top are limit switches, so in case it gets too hot, it pops kind of like a circuit breaker. It just pops that out and you push them in to reset it. So that's what those are, just in case you're wondering. And we'll put the little cover in place. This is a replacement cover. It just slides in there. Bend this little shield back down so it catches any water that might come out of the safety release. And there we go. There's the new water heater cover. The water heater reset button cover, I should say. Got the gas one here, and the electric one here. So in case those trip for some reason, got the little buttons here to push back and reset. And we've got the new cover on, so it keeps those dry. Okay, we've got everything hooked up. I kind of relocated this in a different spot for now so I can diagnose it easily if need be, rather than having to take this whole panel apart to get to it. We want our coach battery on. So I think we fixed our problem. Let's turn this on. Yep, sounds like it's trying to light. So let's go out there and listen to it. Turn it on. Walk outside there. Yeah, there we go. See the spark? I don't have any gas in the LP tank at the moment, but that's good. That means the water heater is working now. Before, the problem I had was you'd flip the switch on, it would just say pilot out, and nothing would ever happen. So, that's good. That means we fixed that problem, and the water heater should work now. Now, I want to just test the electric side of it. Obviously, I'm not going to dry fire the electric element in the water heater without water being in it. But what I want to try is starting the generator and putting a load on it with the electric water heater and see if we at least get power going to it. There we go. All right. And then this switch over here controls the electric hot water heater. Now I have it shut off with the safety switch at the hot water heater. So you see there, kicked on. Now we flip this switch on here. It's for the electric water heater. Now I didn't hear the generator RPM dip slightly like I was expecting. So I'm thinking we might have another problem somewhere. I'm going to go take some of the stuff apart on the water heater and check for voltage in a few areas. Okay, so here's our meter. We've got it set on alternating current, because that's what we're going to be measuring for the hot water heater. Should see about 110. I'm going to plug it into this outlet here just to see what we've got. As you can see right there, 120, so we're good. We got 120 here. That means the generator's running, circuit breaker's on. As you can see, that switch is actually reversed. It's off in the up position. But I check here, no voltage. No voltage. Now I'm just going to turn this on briefly. We still don't have voltage. I'm going to have to look into it a little bit here and see what's going on. Alright, so I think I found the problem here. As you can see, still set on AC volts. If we go back to this little switch here, remember the switch on the outside here, right there, the upside down one? If we go in back of the water heater over here, we take our little lead, we probe right here, I think it's the top one. Oh, nope, it's the bottom one. Probe the bottom one, you can see we get 120 volts like we should. However, it doesn't matter what the position of the switch is, we still don't get it on the other side. So I'm thinking that this switch is bad. As you can see, we'll put the switch on and still nothing. So you don't get power here at this at the thermostat. We don't get it here at the heater element either. So I think we've got a bad switch there. So I'm gonna pop that switch out, see what I can find for it. Hopefully it's just some basic generic thing. So sure enough, just as I thought, the switch is bad. So you can see, doesn't matter what position it's in, we get OL, no continuity. Fortunately, it looks like it's pretty generic. I think I should be able to find one of those, slip it right back in there. But we're not going to stop that from letting us test it to make sure it's still good. So I got a little jumper in there that was actually made up of the terminal off the broken thermostat here. And I'm just gonna go flip the switch on briefly and make sure we got voltage. Might even hear the generator dip down a bit in RPM. Let's see if it's fixed now. All right, let's see if the RPM dips a little bit. Yeah, I think I felt it dip a little bit. Yep, it definitely dipped a little bit. So, that's working now. I don't know how well you guys could hear it on the camera, but I heard the RPM on the generator dip ever so slightly, and it didn't do that before. So I think it's safe to say that we just got a bad switch. We'll just replace that switch, and then we should be good to go. Let's check for voltage. Got one side of it unplugged here, or unscrewed, as you can see. So we'll check. There we go. So we're actually getting power to the element now. That's good. That's what we want. Now if we go to ground here, check for ground. We should have continuity to ground through that little screw. As you can see, we've got barely touching it there, just to be on the safe side, but we have continuity to ground. So that's that. Now I'm running out of daylight here, but there's one more thing I got to do. I want to take these wheel covers off here. I got my 1 11/16 inch 3/4 socket. And check these wheel seals. So, see the grease level, or the oil level rather? That's good. That's where you want your oil level to be. This looks good, no leaks. But let's go take a look at the other side. This is the side that's leaking. See the oil running down here? So let's take this off. Remember, reverse threads. All that oil that just came out of there. So anyway, got a lot of oil built up in there. So it looks to me like the leak is probably right here in the middle of the cap. I don't know if you can see that very well or not, but it looks like there's a hole in there. I've kind of wiped the oil off, but it looks like that's where the oil was running down. So I'm just going to start with one of these caps. They're only about 10 bucks. Also notice how the oil level is right with that hole on the cap there. So I'm pretty sure that's where it's coming from. So I'm going to start with this cap. Yeah, it's definitely coming from that plug. Alright, that's about it for tonight, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. I'll see you guys next time with more work on this RV.